Right, very good morning. Today we are going to discuss about central themes of liberalism because we discuss liberalism in our previous classes. So we studied how it is originated, what is the literal meaning of liberalism. So what are the root causes behind the emerging of liberalism, and how was it spread throughout the Europe and the rest of the world. So these things we discussed very clearly in our previous classes. Now we are going to discuss today central themes of liberalism, or on the other hand we can say principles of liberalism or principal ideas of liberalism. There are few actually. There are many, but in here I brought few of them, right? So if you have questions, you can ask anytime, or otherwise, if you have questions, you can ask at the end of our discussion. So I think you are very familiar about these principles or central themes. I have brought these things from Andrew Haywood book on an introduction to political ideology. According to Andrew Haywood, Professor Andrew Haywood, so there are a few central themes. The first one is the individual. The second one is freedom. Third one is reason. Fourth one is justice. The last one is toleration. We are very much, I know, we are very much familiar about these things or principles, but as university students in third year, so we are going to discuss all these things within a broader perspective. There's a difference uh, between what we discuss in here and what we know about these things, right? So we can discuss one by one. The first one is the individual or individualism. In Sinhala, I put the singular term also, just for you understanding. And also I put the Tamil name to introduce the individual, just for the understanding and easiness of our Tamil students, though they are learning in English medium. So I think it is very useful for them to quickly grasp this concept. So now we are going to discuss, now we are talking about individual as a principle or central theme in liberalism. But before discuss about that, we want to know about what type of individual was in the feudalistic society, or what type of capacity, what type of space he received in the individual feudalistic society. So, understanding those concepts, understanding those background, understanding of this background, that background of the individual in feudalistic society, so we can easily understand, we can find the difference between uh, individual in feudalistic society and the modern or liberal society. Very simply, I want to highlight. Now we are going to talk about individual in or individualism in liberal system. But to know about that very well, it is very important to know about the nature of individual was in feudalistic society. Then we can identify differences between um, feudalistic society and the uh, modern society or liberal society. In the past, in the feudalistic society, there was no idea about individual. So it is sometimes it might be very difficult to understand this one, because in present context we can understand what is individual or individualism. But in our past, there was a society, it's called feudalistic society. At that time, no idea about individual, no idea about people's interest. It means that, as we know, human beings are different, right? By their birth. Uh, we have different ideas, different views, different interests, different needs, right? We are different from each other. But in feudalistic society, people cannot fulfill their different interests, different needs. Therefore, it was very difficult to achieve personality. Personality, right? Because personality is something which is constructed on our interest, our needs, fulfillment of our interest and needs. For example, you like to learn, right? That's your interest. As we know, there were many students in your O-level class, grade 5 or 6 classes, and also in your advanced level classes, there were many students, right? But as we know, some of them may not have deep interest on the examinations and also study. So that's why they are not in the university system, right? So they have different views, different interests, different needs, right? Sometimes they may want to do a business. Sometimes they may want to do a different kind of jobs, maybe working in the military or police, or sometimes some of them may want to go abroad to earn money, right? Right? There are different interests, but in our system supports to them to achieve their different interests, right? You have a keen idea about uh, the education. That's why you are in here, right? So achieving your interest, target, or needs, you can have a personality. But in a pluralistic society, the people cannot achieve their personal interest. They cannot achieve their needs. They cannot work individually. Therefore, they cannot build up their personality. They cannot achieve their personality in that society, right? So there was a system which is called guild, Guild. It's in our slide. Guild, guild, right? A system. In that system, there's a there was a headmaster. Headmaster. Headmaster means it's someone like a principal, right? Or head teacher, but literally it is called head headmaster, right? Under his leadership and under his name, the guild is constructed, and his students were there working for him, right? There were students. Students can learn, can work under the leadership of headmaster. They cannot go beyond within the capacity of the headmaster. They cannot work individually without headmaster. They cannot produce something or innovative things without the approval of headmaster. They cannot produce very beautiful, very innovative thing to the society uh, by their own names. For example, if there is a good artist, he cannot show his artwork to the society, creative work to the society by his own name. He cannot do that. He can do it on the name of guild with the approval of the headmaster, right? So in that pluralistic system, individuals were there, but they cannot work independently. They are always dependent on the guild and the headmaster. Without their permission, they cannot do anything. That's why at that time, the people cannot develop their personality, cannot achieve what they interest. They cannot achieve what their personal needs. Because of that, individuals were suppressed in that system, right? So that type of society was there at the time of feudalistic society. Therefore, the scholars identified that period of time under the name of dark era of European history. Dark era of European history, right? So then after, when 15th century, 15th, 16th century, so people, they started to think. They started to think in new ways. They found new ways to think, new ways to work, right? For example, there are many scientists, Thomas Alva Edison, there are many, right? What Edison did, he founded the electric bulb. Then what he did, secondly, he started his own factory to produce electric bulbs, right? So then scientific thinking came first, freedom of thinking came first, right? Then after, what's called industrialization, urbanization came, right? Came into exist. So then after, people started to use money, because previous system, the money circulation was very rare, because people were suppressed by the headmasters and also landowners, right? The need of the money was not there actually, because the people were bound to certain land and landowners. Then people have to work for a long time, for their lifetime, uh, for their masters. Then their day-to-day needs, clothes, then the healthcare, then other shelter, they were provided by the landowners. So at that time, they don't have money because they were not considered as paid laborers. Paid laborers. They were serfs. Serfs. They have to work for their lifetime for a particular landowners, but they cannot have what's called money, right? But in new system, new changes were taken place in the urban area, I mean city area. The cities were developed, then they were gradually becoming urban area, urban centers. New science was there, new scientists were there. So people started to think, people started to work independently. Then industrialization came into exist. Factories were established there. So the individuals who were working under the land owners in particular lands, they started to escape from their lands and go to these urban areas and settle over there. Then the population of the urban centers were starting getting high. The population of the urban centers increased due to that reason. Then new banking system came into exist. The money circulation was increased because the paid laborers were there. Now unpaid laborers in lands under the leadership of landowners, but now in urban centers, factories, laborers go for work, they go for salary, right, or money. Then the factory owners has to give money for them, has to pay money for them. Now they can earn money. Then money circulation was increased. So banking system was established. New religion came into exist. Roman, what's called Protestant movement came into exist under leadership of Martin Luther King, John Calvin. They started a new religion. They it, they promoted new way of development, new way of industrialization, new way of banking system, new way of handling the money, right? Having interest and all these things. So then capitalism starts. In simultaneously, liberalism, I mean political or theoretical political version of the capitalism started to exit. Right now, people can have freedom. They can work individually. They can go wherever they think. They can do whatever they want. Right? Freedom, liberty were there. New intellectual climate emerged. They have personality and dignity, their own dignity now they can have. Growth of natural rights theorists. To justify this new emerging situation, new theorists, new political scientists came into exist. You know, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, like prominent liberal thinkers came into exist. What the Thomas Hobbes did in his famous thesis in Leviathan, it was written in 1651. The first part of the Leviathan, Thomas Hobbes very clearly expressed what? 5 organs of our body, 5 organs: eyes, nose, mouth, ear, skin, and mind, right? There are several organs in our body. We can observe, we can perceive eternal world. Eternal world means external world through our organs in our body. It means through our eyes we can see the pictures. Through our nose we can smell something, right? Through our eyes, so through our ears we can hear something or some sounds, right? So now you can hear the sound from the dog, right? So likewise, Thomas Hobbes clearly said in his book, the first part of his book, under the name of man, he said people can observe, can perceive external things. I mean, rest of the world through our organs, right? It means people have sovereign authority to have knowledge, right? So before that, everything is given by the God. But according to new theorists, all these things are centered on individual. Individual can see, individual can smell, individual can do anything, right? So then John Locke, he wrote, according to his view, life, liberty, and property are most important things. They naturally people have right to achieve these things. When we are born, we have natural right to live. That is called right to life, right? After that, we can have a space. It means we can enjoy our liberty. So if you like, if you want, we can have property, private property. John Locke advised to the king or the government, do not initiate, impose laws against private property and all these three things, all three things, right? Life, liberty, and property. On the other hand, the government, the institutions should pay the attention. They should regulate laws and rules to protect these things: life, liberty, and property, right? People can have their own things, their own building, their own land, their own house. Now they can produce their what is called uh, production or creative works under the name of them, right? Now you can see number of films, number of songs, number of CDs, number of DVDs are coming into the market under the name of different artists, right? Maybe in local, maybe in foreign. We can watch, we can hear them, and we can have our enjoyment, right? We can enjoy with them, right? So In this context, especially capitalist context or individual context, individualism is the most highest concept and most valuable concept. That's the center of liberalism, individualism, right? On the other hand, communism, socialism, uh, they highlighted collectivism. Their main point is center point is community. But according to liberalism, the center point is individual. We are individuals. We can do anything, but we can violate others' rights and freedom. Within that certain limitation, we can enjoy our rights, right? On the name of our rights, we cannot violate uh, the others' rights and freedom. Then the second one is freedom. It's called individual freedom. Right? Liberty is a natural rights. It means that's very important one. Liberty or freedom is a natural rights. When we born, we have certain rights. They were given by our nature, not by the God, not by the government, not by the king or queen, not by any institution, right? Therefore, there's a base and logic behind that. These rights are given by nature, or naturally we are receiving certain kind of rights and freedom or liberty. They are natural liberty. Therefore, they cannot violate by any god, any institution in the society, or the government, right? Because they are given to us by the nature. They are not given to us by the God, by the institution, or by the government. They are given by the nature. So, the nature given thing cannot violate, cannot grasped, cannot taken out by any institution or by the God or by the government. So that's very important point. That's very serious rationale is there, right? We are naturally free man. We are not bound to anyone, but we are rational thinkers. So on the basis of that rational way of thinking, we cannot work. We can work as an individual, right? The opportunity to pursue their own interest by exercising choice, as I mentioned before, we can achieve anything in according to our choice, in according to our targets, in according to our needs, right? There are certain needs, primary needs, secondary needs, territory needs, and different type of needs. But while we are living in society, we want to achieve these needs, right? So, according to liberalism, there is a freedom for the individual to achieve their target or needs or interest in accordance with their choice. But on the name of our needs or interest or whatever the targets, we cannot violate others' rights and freedom because they are given to them by the nature, right? For example, then every human beings are free, right? Therefore, even parents cannot violate freedom of their children. So they are independent and natural living creatures, right? They are not the part and parcel of someone or something. So that's the base of this liberal thinking pattern. Then the government and society, what they want to do, they want to create a certain condition in which people are able to develop their skills and talents and fulfill their potentials. That's their responsibility. Our society and the government uh, should provide certain space, certain environment to achieve a certain environment to work freely for the individuals. Then if they have such an environment, such opportunities, they can develop their skills, talents, they can utilize their potentials, right? So that's the duty, prime duty of the government or the society as well, right? They cannot, according to liberalism, they cannot, they means the government and the society cannot put certain limitations to avoid these things, right? Uh, for example, think about there's a little girl, right? She can sing well or dance well or can do sport well, maybe gymnastic or something like that, right? That's her potential. Maybe can sing, can dance, or can do gymnastic or something like that, right? Maybe judo or maybe karate, maybe swimming, maybe cricket, maybe badminton, right? That's her talent. That's her potential, right? So then, what the society should do? Let's assume there's a little girl from her childhood. She's very much clever, uh, clever in dance. Let's assume, right? She's always dancing in front of the others, right? Uh, then what the society is doing? They may say, "Oh, don't do that. You are a girl. You cannot work. You cannot behave like this. You might be very disciplined, right? You cannot violate our societal rules. You should be like this. You should not go in that side." So, if as a society, if we say like this, what will be happen? That girl will she will try to hide her potentials or talents. They will not come out again, right? So if we support her, oh, you can dance well, you can do that, you can swim well, you can do karate, judo well, right? By you can draw beautiful pictures nicely. So in likewise, if we uh, encourage them, then they will have a good environment to maximize their potentials. There's a good environment to show their talents to us, right? So that's why in here I highlighted the importance role of the society in, in providing good environment for the individuals to maximize in their potentials. Right? Then also government should create such an environment how they can do, right? For example, they can develop certain mechanisms to find those talented people, talented students especially. They can establish school-based competition or school-based opportunities or youth clubs-based opportunities uh, for the, for the children. Sometimes they are in very remote areas, right? They should have a mechanism to identify them who can do uh, swimming, maybe in basketball, maybe in cricket, maybe dance, singing. Nowadays, you can look at this one, right? Number of TV channels they are organizing is star programs, dancing star, singing star, right? Star. There are many. In that sense, that's good because there is a big competition. The people and they are, I mean, uh, the youngs, teens and children, they have to pay. They have to sacrifice big their time. They have to sacrifice their uh, wealth and lot of money they have to pay for publicity. But in that sense, they can show their talents, potential to the others. Private sector channels, they are organizing such an event, but the government side, they should initiate such a mechanism to identify those people who are the talents, who are the talents for specific areas. Then we can develop, we can create them as a national leaders, national heroes. Then also we can show our talents to the international level. By doing that, we can earn money also as a country, right? So uh, that's why liberal thinkers highlighted the society and the government should create a certain environment to enhance the individual's freedom, individual's talents, skills, and potentials. Otherwise, they will be nullified uh, within their mind and body, right? However, individuals don't have absolute freedom. Absolute freedom means uh, unlimited freedom. They cannot violate others' rights and others' freedom. As I mentioned before, uh, that's not the license to violate others' rights and harm others, right? They can enjoy their freedom and rights, but they cannot violate others' rights and freedom. Then John Stuart Mill, very prominent scholar in liberalism. In 1859, he wrote a book. It's called On Liberty. Right? He in that book he paid huge attention on the freedom. Actually, He's the most influential thinker in liberalism, which is who is highlighted, who more focused on individual liberty. According to his point of view, except one person, the others, all others in the world, are having one idea or opinion that that particular person, if he tries to uh, suppress or control the ideas of the rest of the world, according to his point of view, according to John Stuart's point of view, that's a big crime. Is it clear? Out of the world population, except one person, other all are having one idea, one opinion. That particular person, one person, right? If he tries to mitigate or control others' idea, that is obvious, it's a crime. But vice versa, according to John Stuart Mill, the rest of the world are gathered together, and if they try to control or suppress that individual's idea, that is also very big crime. It means that, very simply, each and every individual in our world, they may have their own idea and opinion. Rest of the world should have practice, should have discipline to respect it. Whether they accept it or not, that's another thing, right? If they don't like, if they don't agree that opinion, so it's okay, right? But they cannot suppress that individual person's idea. The rest of the people, if they don't like it, they do not accept it. That's another matter. If they like, they can accept. But if whether they like or not, they cannot suppress that small idea or opinion. There's a liberalistic perspective on freedom, right? In our university system also, there are different people having different kind of opinions, different kind of ideas, right? Sometimes other people are coming and they're trying to suppress, they're trying to mitigate, they're trying to harm the others' ideas and opinions, right? They are trying to impose their ideas on the others, especially, you know what I am talking, right? So that type of things, according to liberalism, should not be taken place. Because as educated people, as elder citizens of this country and the world, we should respect others, their ideas, their dignity. Like me, the other all, they have certain kind of dignity, personal identity, and also they are having freedom. They have certain talents. They have particular potentials. They might not have my talents, right? But they have different talents. They may not have. Uh, they are not in my mind or my body, right? So we should protect them. We should respect them. So that's why that's how we can tolerate others' ideas and opinions, and also we can live in with diverse society, pluralistic society. So Aisha Berlin, very prominent scholar, she identified liberty in two ways: negative liberty and positive liberty. Right? Negative liberty means if someone is trying to destroy others' freedom and rights, it can be identified as negative liberty. So, in while we are living in our society, we have that type of experience, right? About negative liberty. For example, uh, sometimes we can see while we are walking or we are driving on the road, number of gangs having motorbikes, right? Having full face helmets. As a gang, they are riding their bicycle uh, very, mm, very unpleasant way, right? Uh, Switch on their lights, headlights, and shouting. As again, they are not considering others' rights, the travelers, especially pedestrians, right? They're not consider their what they feel, what they want, what where they want to go. They only think about their fulfillment of their enjoyment riding a bicycle as a grand. We can have that type of experience in our society, especially at the time of uh, May, with what is called uh, Vesak festivals, right? So that type of people are coming into roads and having gangs and riding bicycles. Sometimes some people are having vehicles like lorry, demo bata, or sometimes that type of vehicles or landmasters. Then they are going there and having sounds and sometimes musical having musical equipments, tom tom beaters, and something many items are there. They while traveling, uh, they are doing lot of noises. They may harm to others, right? So violating road disciplines. So in that sense, that's negative liberty. They have liberty, but they are enjoying that liberty mm, while violating others' rights, right? So in the in the in our our system also, university system also, sometimes we can find this type of experience, right? Uh, Sometimes people, your friends are sleeping, sometimes they are reading for the exams, reading for the CAs, but some others they are having video calls or Skype calls or voice calls to someone, making big noise and laughing, clapping, right? Sometimes dancing. He or she may enjoy his or her ultimate liberty, but violating others' rights. So that's the sense of negative liberty. But if we try to enjoy our liberty within positive mind, respecting others' rights in identity, dignity, and their views and opinions, that's the way of we are enjoying positive liberty. That's why Isa Berlin wanted to highlight. But as scholars, what we want to highlight always positive liberty. Then the other one is reason. Uh, reason, right? There is a singular term and also Tamil term to identify very clearly. Liberal thinkers, they believed, strongly believe that all human beings are rational thinkers. Rational thinkers. Rational means they are having very good thinking capacity. It means thinking creatures. We all are thinking creatures because we have good mind and brain. They are capable of defining and pursuing their own best interest. It means that we have good mind and brain. Therefore, we can think. As the result of that, we can behave as a rational thinkers, rational creatures, rational human beings. So then we can decide our behavior, our future, our fate on the basis of our needs and interest, right? While we are working, while we are learning, and while we are deciding, while we are having our decisions, what we do, according to liberals, we select the best option for us. What's the best option for us, right? Because we are trying to maximize our interest and needs. They have capacity to take charge of their own lives and lifestyles and destiny, according to liberals. But before that, before means in the feudalistic society, people believe that everything is given by the God. Therefore, if we do harm to others, God will come and punish us. But according to liberals, complete autonomy of our thinking, our words, and our behavior is ours, not others, because they are generated by ourselves, not by the God, right? Therefore, whatever we say, whatever we do, we have to take responsibility of them. We cannot defer that responsibility to unknown or unseen force like God or nature, right? We should uh, have we should have capability to uh, take that responsibility. And the other thing is that people or human creatures or thinking creatures, they are learning from their mistakes, own mistakes. For example, uh, when we were in a very small child, we can remember we try to touch the flame of the lamp, right? Flame of the lamp. I mean, fire of the lamp, right? But at the very first day, we learned that if we touch the fire, right, our finger will be burned out, will be burned, right? So then again, it will harm to me. That's my lesson. Then again, I will not think about to do such a things again and again. Liberals thinks that human beings are rational thinkers. They are learning from their mistakes, so then they will not do uh, their mistakes repeatedly. because they have brain and mind and they are capable enough to learn by their mistakes, right? Therefore, they will work for their maximum benefit to achieve maximum benefit for them. That's their logic. Right? Reason is based on personal development, political and economic development of the society, historical and social development, right? All these things are based on to have reason, logic. It means, for example, think about COVID-19 situation. As an individual, now we are aware about that, right? About COVID-19. On the other hand, in this situation, we have been sophisticated and well-developed technology, political and economic development we have, right? So now we can have access to data, informations through that systems. We can use YouTube, we can use Facebook, we can use Twitter, we can use electronic media like TV, printed media like newspapers, right? To access data. There are data archives. So as a rational thinkers, accessing those data archives, we can find out so what the current status of COVID-19 situation. So what we can do now, how we behave now, how we think now, how we work now, how we talk now, right? We can decide on the basis of that data archives and our personal experience, because we are every moment we are growing, right? We are growing up. We are having new experience in every moment. So by learning all these things, or by learning through this process, we can have rational thoughts on the basis of personal development, historical and social development, political and economic development, right? All these are based on to have good and rational thinking pattern, right? I think you can understand this one. Through that way, we can achieve acquisition of knowledge and skills. Then the abandonment of prejudice, it helps us to give off prejudices, avoiding superstitions. Superstitions, what they are, like this. There are a number of superstitions in our society. Some of us are having, or some of us are practicing these things. If they see crossing the black cat while they start their road, or while they start their journey, they stop their journey and come back to home, because they believe that's a bad luck, right? If they go to the hotel to enjoy, if they receive the room under number 13, then what will be happen? They believe they will change the room. Sometimes, some hotels, they may, while they are constructing, they may not have room number 13, because they believe that that's a bad number. The people will not select that particular room, right? So if we buy new car, new vehicle, right, then we will put that type of things, what's called lemon and chili in front of the vehicle and down part of the vehicle. You can see, right? We were entered to the shops. In any university premises, you can have this type of experience. I have seen some shops are having this type of feng shui, what's called feng shui monuments in their shops, right? These things are called superstitious things. But in the way of rational thinking, we can prove these things, how they bring luck or bad luck for us, for our lives, right? In these days, in our villages, in our hometown, in our cities, people are cultivating a specific plant in their inside their homes. It's called money tree, money tree, right? According to my point of view, if it is true, we can stop all other works, right? And we can start to cultivate money trees everywhere, in our rooms, in our veranda, in our table, in our what's called upstairs, and even in our bathrooms, we can cultivate money trees if they I mean, if money trees having that type of capacity to give money for us, we can cultivate lot of money trees in our what's called everywhere, even our bedroom and bathroom, right? So these things are superstitious things. They cannot measurable to the what's called rational thinking, way of rational thinking. So there are many prejudices, right? While we are learning also, learning process, there are prejudices. Some students, they think that, I mean, learning at the evening time or after 11 p.m. or 12 p.m., that's best for them. Some people, especially adults, parents, they believe that waking enough early morning in 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., early morning, waking up and started to learn. It's the best way to learn, right? So there are many prejudices. I think as students, you may have that type of prejudices about the best time for learning, right? So learning is the process that cannot put in a specific time period. What the easiest time, convenient time for us to learn, that's the best and suitable time to learn and read, right? If you have prejudices, we will face this type of situation. You know, in our childhood, we heard that story, right? The story behind the tortoise and the rabbit. What the rabbit did, he or she, right, has a what's prejudice. He can run faster. The tortoise can not do that. Therefore, he slept for a long time because of prejudice. If we have certain kind of prejudices, definitely we will be in trouble like rabbit in this story. Therefore, according to liberalism, liberal advocate us to remove, to avoid prejudices while we are working and learning with our society. Highlighting the importance of discussion, debate, argument, questioning. People are reason because people are reason-guided creatures. Always we must focus on our thinking pattern and we should address to our rational thinking. According to them, conflict be settled through debate and negotiation. While we are in society, sometimes conflicts, debates, and disputes may be emerged, arise. So if we can see such kind of situation, what we can do, we want to settle down all these things through peaceful means, peaceful discussion, peaceful debate, peaceful argument. Non-violence discussion, non-violence debate, non-violent communicate, using non-violent communication, right? Through the negotiation to settle down all these things, disputes can complete. According to liberals, they don't like to use force and aggressive methods to resolve the conflicts and disputes. According to them, violence marks the failure of reason. According to them, violence means the failure of reason. If they cannot settle down their conflict or disputes within a peaceful means, using reason, logic, and debate or negotiation within a peaceful sense, then as a failure of all these things, violence and aggression emerged. Use of force is justified on the ground of self-defense. On the sense of self-defense, we can use force, and also as a mean of countering oppression. If someone or some other country, if they try to suppress us, then we can against them using force for the sense of self-defense and to protect our autonomy and sovereignty. On the other cases, all the debates and conflicts should be settled down or should be reconciled through the process of mediation and negotiation within the non-violent, peaceful meanings, right? That's the argument of the liberals. Next one is justice. And again, I put the Tamil and Sinhala words to identify it. So moral judgment, actually it's a moral judgment because we cannot measure justice. Each person what he or she is due. Justice shows us a clear path, what we can do, what we cannot do, what we ought to do, what we ought not to do. That's the sense of justice. Justice shows us very clear path. So if you want to have formal equality, justice must be there, because liberals believes universalism. In universe, we all are equal. We all are having equal rights. We all are having equal freedom. We all are equal. We all are same. There are no differences among the human beings, right? Therefore, our needs and our basic needs are same in everywhere. For example, we want to have food, we want to have pure air to breathe, we want to have pure water, we want to have shelter, we want to have good clothes, we want to have warmness to maintain our body. So we like to study, we like to learn, we want to work, right, to earn money for our lives. These things are very basic things. They are all common to all other people in the world, right? They cannot be violated by the others. Why cannot be violated by the others? So on the base of some narrative things, very 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 negative things actually, uh, people are segregated sometimes on the basis of gender, race, color, political creed. Political creed means their political beliefs, religion, cult, and belief, or social background, maybe educated school, right? There's a lot of debate going on in current Sri Lanka about school-based education, right? So these things are certain parameters to identify our demographic data. No, otherwise they are not just for segregation the people, because all human beings are born free and equal in the world. We all are same and equal. We all are having different type of potentials, capacities, thinking capacities, physical capacities, right? Each and everyone having very unique skills and potentials. So we want to protect, we want to respect all others. So that's why 1859 John Stuart Mill highlighted, except one person, all others in the world are having one opinion. If they try to suppress that person's idea, that's a crime, because each and everyone has a capacity, and also they should have space to having his or her own view on political view, maybe religious view, maybe social view, right? That's his or her style. That's not ours. That's not our style. That's not our living pattern. But we all should live together. We cannot violate others' right, or they also cannot have right to violate our rights, right? So that's a base of justice, equity of opportunity. Every individual should have the same chance to rise and fall in a society. Opportunity should be equal, but according to their way of doing, they can have freedom to rise and fall in our society. If they like, if they work harder, they can rise step by step. You are in here because you work harder, you learn a lot for your exams, and when you are in grade 1 to grade 13, you studied well, that's why you are in here, right? So, but there should be an open space and open opportunity to compete equal manner uh, to climb up our ladder, career ladder, or maybe social ladder. However, there is no absolute equality. People are not born equal. Because of that, they are having different skills. You can see this picture. There's a monkey, elephant, fish, dog, sealfish, and also crow, right? For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. The examiner is there. He says, we want to have free and fair, what's called selection method. So everyone should claim that free. That's the examination, right? Now you can understand what was happened, right? There's a crow, monkey, then the penguin, elephant, fish, sealfish, and the dog. Who can climb the tree quickly? There are many animals in here. They cannot climb the tree for their lifetime. For example, dog, then fish, elephant, penguin, sealfish. They cannot climb the tree, right? The monkey is very clever in climbing the tree, but the fish also can do it. Oh, sorry, the crow is also can do it. Right? That's not the. I mean, when we are, I mean, liberals, they're talking about equity, but they're not talking about absolute equality. In here, the examiner is trying to establish absolute equality. He does not consider about different what's called different what's called different talents and skills of the others, different different views of the others and talents, right? Wait 1 minute, our dancer is calling me. After answering that call, I will come back. Okay, please wait. Hello. Sorry, our Dean sir is calling, so that's why I want to go there and respond to sir because he's doing a lot of work in this time to mitigate COVID-19 and prepare our university to COVID resistance, right? Mm. Okay, well, I'm talking about absolute equity. There's no sense of absolute equity highlighted by the liberals because they are talking about liberty and equity, but not the absolute liberty and also absolute equality. I think you can understand very well. Uh, According to the liberals, property is gained by hard work and the exercise of abilities. However, wealth is the result of hard work or being a member of wealthiest family. John Rawls, in his book, very famous book, Theory of Justice, according to him, wealth is the rewards for their hard work, as I mentioned before. You work harder, that's why you are in here, right? That's the thing. If you work harder more than this, you can go beyond in your social life, in your career life. Career life, you can go beyond. In Robert Nozick in 1974, in Anarchy, State Utopia, he says that right to property should not be violated in the names of social equality. Reject the notion of redistribution of wealth, right? So then, almost 9. I think that's enough for today. Shall we continue our class in next day? If you have any questions, clarifications, this is time for you. You can raise your voice now. You can ask questions freely. This is as a liberals advocate, this is open space for everyone to raise your voice. This right? You can ask anything. Thank you very much for everyone. Yes. Any questions, Sankalpani?
No, sir. All clear.
All clear? Oh, good. Saranga? Clear? Okay, then Vinodani?
Yes, sir.
Vinodani? It's okay, fine. Vinodani? Hello? Vinodani, you can speak now. Hello? Vinodani? Then Shamila? Shamila, hello?
Good morning, sir.
If you have any questions or clarifications,
No, sir.
everything is fine.
No, sir, because I want to watch these videos again, sir, because last week I didn't join the lecture.
Okay, okay. Oh, good,
Then
good.
only I can understand.
Sure. So if you want to do some part of the our lesson, uh, definitely you can ask, right? Then if you like, I can do again and again that lesson also. All these lessons are posted in YouTube. You can watch them. After that, you can raise your questions. If you feel uncomfortable or difficult to understand, please let me know. If you like, if you have time, I will do it again very slowly and simply, right? Don't worry, don't be afraid in this COVID-19 situation. If you
Okay.
like, if you want, if you show the path, this is very difficult for me, or saying something like that, then I will do it again. Don't worry. We are in here for you, for our students, right? For the everyone.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Having a good day and watch it, right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir,
Yeah, Saranga.
sir, I'm Sankalpani.
Yes, Sankalpani, yes.
I have a question, but not related to our lesson.
Okay, okay, you can ask anything.
I'll ask it from Sinhala, sir. Okay.
Okay, what's the problem? Then,
Sir, Pavidi, can you?
sorry.
Sir, can you hear me?
Shall
Can
I?
you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Shall I stop recording or?
Okay, sir.
Okay.